signs go in there. These boards will become signs. These are waiting to become signs. Our sign stock is depleted. We are in the middle of the Christmas rush. It is very early in the morning, and this is the time I usually get up to start making signs. But first thing this morning, I need to get a video out for you guys. I want to thank Princess Auto for sponsoring this video. Today we're going to talk about something. It's on the ground down there. Vibratory tumblers. So first off, I really do apologize for not having a lot of content coming out lately. We're working about 12 to 14 hours a day, 6 days a week, and that's not an exaggeration. We've got a couple of weeks left, and then we're done, and then I'll be so stoked. Probably sleep 3 days in a row. But, you know, it's the Christmas rush, and you gotta make hay while the sun shines. It just happens to be like the summer solstice as far as consumer-driven spending goes. Okay, now I do have a other vibratory tumbler, but this was on sale, and I thought I need to show you their vibratory tumbler. And okay, so first off, let's just kind of take a look at what this thing is. So this here is a vibratory tumbler. And what it is, it's got some motor imbalance thing that when you turn it on, this thing goes bzzz and kind of bounces and jiggles like this. You put some type of a media, whether that's ceramic, could be gravel, could be little synthetic cones. I mean, there's all kinds of different things. A lot of people use like walnut. And it kind of just vibrates, and it'll do a few things. It will clean, or it will deburr, or what I like to make it do, stone wash. So up here, this is typical of most of these small ones. Now they do have vibratory tumblers that are like large commercial units where it kind of flows. Oh, it's hard to explain, but this is a small unit. Now for reference, this is called a 5 pound. And I think that's just like a general, oh, look at that. I didn't know it came with media. It comes with walnut, I do believe. Crushed walnut to you? A lot of folks use these for cleaning their shells, their spent ammunition shells. That is really cool. I'm actually not going to set this one up for stone washing. I'm going to set it up for cleaning parts. And so this makes it handy. So there's the bowl, the chamber. And you plug it in and basically and we'll also go out and grab my big one, and I'll show you that one. But just for reference, this is called a 5 pounder. Here's a Benchmade Griptilian full size, and it fits in there like this. So if you were using this for knife making and acid stone washing, I would say the largest blade you could successfully do in here, you could do this one. This, I don't, how big is this? So this is 8 inches. I would say that's pushing the limits. When we stick 8-inch blade in there, that's what you got. You see? So it might not even, it should, it's hard to say. Let's say a 6-inch blade. So really great. This 5 pound size would be excellent for EDC type things. The other one I have is a 10 pound one, and we'll go look at that in size comparison. We'll try and get a guesstimation of what the maximum blade you could get. So one thing I like about this one is the gasket around here. The other one I have, it's just got like a foam strip, and I've tried to glue it on over and over and over again, and it doesn't work. You're gonna want this on, and the reason this kind of matters is that this will create a lot of dust or a lot of splash. So if you're using walnut, you can imagine when this thing's running, it's gonna get dusty in there, and if you didn't have a good gasket seal on here, that's just gonna keep dusting up your whole shop. Much like all this woodworking is doing to mine. And I vacuum this out every weekend. It's crazy. Look at my poor heat treating kiln. Anyways, that's not what we're talking about. Let's plug this thing in. I want to hear this thing running. 0.5 amps, so that's cool. Not going to use a lot of power. Oh, that's cool. this is my bigger one, just for reference. And then this they call a 10-pounder. There you go. Not a whole lot of difference in height, but in the diameter, I'll just give you an overhead. See, that's quite a difference there. And then obviously the volume of the tub. So the way I usually run mine, and I've fiddled with this quite a bit, but I found some ceramic cylindrical media. These guys right here. And so these guys are kind of cut oblong, or like whatever that angle is. And there's a whole bunch of them. And so you put your knife in here, and this thing does the same thing this does. Kind of moves around and vibrates, and this puts a very interesting stonewash pattern on the knives. It also does a really good job at doing a satin finish. So if I've got some stainless steel blades, sometimes I'll bring the bevels up to like 800 grit, 1000 grit, get them nice and smooth, and put it in here, and you end up with that sort of factory edge, the factory finish that some knives come with. But this thing works really good. Also, I run WD-40 in this thing, and that's the part I struggled with for a long time. I used to run it dry, but then it would get all this dust, and the dust would cake itself. You can buy special fluids they sell for vibratory tumblers. I've tried those and nothing was working well, so I just dumped in a whole bunch of WD-40, like half a can. Well, I just bought it in the bulk, and I just dumped probably like a cup of WD-40 in here, and it works great. It keeps everything nice and clean. Also, if I'm doing carbon steel blades, which is very often what I'll do with an acid stone wash, it won't rust, and so that's really nice. Works really, really good. But if we were to take a tape measure and see, I would say you could do an 8-inch blade and have it move around. You know, it's always interesting thinking about who's going to be watching this and what's the audience that this is going to reach. There's a lot of folks that have better tumblers than this. There's a lot of folks that are out there making their own Damascus with hydraulic forging presses. I mean, and there's some guys that are just starting to do EDC stuff. And so I would say this is probably more for the smaller stuff. You know, if you're a hobbyist, just get going in your garage and you're wondering different ways to get different finishes, this does a really good acid stone wash. I'll show you a quick example from one of the last knife build projects of the type of finish you get with this type of media. And it's really interesting. You know, the other thing I used to use was a little tumbling machine, a little tumbler, and actually the motor I bought for it. Let's see if we still have it. Yeah, this is my little tumbler that I made. I'll put a link up in the corner. This is some type of a weird motor. This was actually from Princess Auto as well. I made this a few years ago. We have a very small electric motor on here, and then this gearbox. I think this is a winding for a car door, window or something. And then essentially all I do with this, I had this container, and it's just got different size gravel in there. Throw that in there, it rotates very slowly. I made this little bearing right. This was a little fancier than it needed to be, but it works really good. I'll show you it real quick. That's how I used to do all my acid stone washing, and that I find the rocks, or you can even get like a big container, put rocks into it and just shake it, and that gives it a very sharp, kind of very fine line, very kind of stone wash. But this gives it's kind of cloudy. It's almost like marble or swirls or something. It's really different, really interesting. This is also way faster. With that little vibratory tumbler, that little roller there, that one down there, I have to spend about 20 minutes to get a fairly noticeable finish on a blade. This here is like 2 minutes. 5 minutes, it's like half washed away. If you put it in there for 10 minutes, your acid's gonna be gone. So you definitely got to keep an eye on these suckers. Now they do sell these little pyramids. They're like a plastic pyramid. I would recommend avoiding those. My experience has been that as those run, even in WD-40, they break down and it creates a sludge, almost like it's slurry. They create a slurry, and that slurry ends up making them not move at all. Like I was cleaning them, I was literally taking them to my kitchen sink with a strainer, rinsing them all off, washing them with soap. I could use them for about 3 or 4 knives, and then they would just bind and they just wouldn't move. So I find WD-40 ceramic media works great. Even buying one of these, small little one like this, if you're making smaller blades, and just filling it with gravel with WD-40, you're going to be really impressed with it, and you're going to be very happy with the results. Now, for this one, what am I going to do with this? I'm actually going to put this walnut media. I think this is walnut media. I don't know for sure, but I'm going to use it as a cleaning machine. Now, I've got a lot of different projects going on that aren't knife making related, and fine parts, brass casings, stuff like this. Be great to have in the shop. And yeah, so thank you Princess Auto for sponsoring this video. Really appreciate it. And if you guys have any questions about this, leave them in the comments below. I will do my very best to answer them for you. And quick update, it's going to be a little bit before I get back into knife making projects because of the rush. So for those of you who may not know, my wife has an Etsy business, and the Christmas time is when it's busy, and then Mother's Day is crazy busy. So we are in the thick of it. That shop is called Whiskey Sour Design. If you want to see it, you can see all the pieces of wood that I make. I look exhausted. I feel exhausted. I think I've got like pretty severe carpal tunnel. But you know, hey, if there's work, you got to take it. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and we will see you on the next one. Cheers.